guys, how's it going? So Dr. Spiegel has spoken out now after the results were released with the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. Obviously, being the character that Dr. Spiegel is, he is the gift that keeps on giving. And yeah, let's take a look at the article where he's furious and blames Johnny Depp for the backlash to his performance on the stand. So I noticed this earlier. It popped up as Lad Bible covered it. But, so basically, in the Lad Bible they said, psychiatrist who said Depp exhibited narcissistic traits says he suffered emotional concussion from child backlash. But we're going to jump into the actual interview that he did itself, right? So, let's have a look. I haven't actually read this yet. I just saw from the comments on Lad Bible that it was gold. So, let's get into it. So, we'll start from when he left the courthouse. When I left the courthouse, I was told to leave when the witness after me was going because people in the gallery could not leave at that point. So when I left, they could not follow me to my car. Fair enough. I drove to my hotel, and around an hour later, about 4 p.m, my wife called me and said, "Listen, I don't want you to look at what's being said." I asked her how horrific it was, and she told me it was pretty bad. Well, his performance was terrible. I'm not a social media expert, far from it, so I didn't expect the whole horrific post-trial backflow. It's been a little stunning for me. Now, here's the thing. Amber Heard had one witness that wasn't somebody that she paid. Dr. Spiegel was a paid assassin paid by Amber Heard to make Johnny Depp look bad. I mean, he was there for the money, or he was just a huge simp. Now, I myself called this out, what was wrong with the Depp Heard situation. How many months ago is this? 15 months ago. I just watched the recording of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard court case. I can't believe Depp got cancelled when it's blatantly obvious that he is the victim of domestic abuse and Heard has borderline personality disorder and needs help. So I diagnosed Amber Heard well over a year before she was diagnosed because it's obvious. So that means that Dr. Spiegel is either very, very bad at his job or he's very disingenuous and will do anything for money. Okay, right. So it was a little stunning for him, the backlash, the volume of it from the personal attacks on who I am and what I present like. Now he went on the stand and called Johnny Depp an idiot and mocked the way that he spoke when he was basing everything off of the performance that Johnny Depp did on Pirates of the Caribbean, which is insane. Where we know it was the performance was inspired by Keith Richards. It's ridiculous. Okay, so the volume of it from the personal attacks and who I am and what I present like to what I look like and say was obviously a little hurtful. I deal with people for a living, so I try to understand where people were coming from. It's what a psychiatrist does. But it's not what you were doing though. But the comments below YouTube videos of me have been vile, and some people have access to my work email, so I've gotten 4 or 5 charming editorials about myself. I've read some of the feedback people have given him as a doctor before the trial. This feedback was left, and it was horrific. My WebMD page has now been closed to comments, but if you look at the site beforehand, there were probably 7 or 8 reviews, and all of a sudden on Monday, there were hundreds. It was pretty obvious what happened. Well, that's what happens when you're a paid assassin and you're on the wrong side and people can see it. I'm an adult. It's not the first time I've been criticised, but never like that. On that Monday and Tuesday, I had what I describe as an emotional concussion. It wasn't physical. I didn't get hit in the head. It was emotional because the feedback afterwards left me a little numb and dazed. And on the day side, I think that's meant to say. I slept a lot on Monday and Tuesday. Now, so he's feeling sorry for himself because of the emotional backlash. Even though he was on the stand trying to convince the world, trying to convince you that Johnny Depp is an idiot. He said that, his words, he called Johnny Depp an idiot and was trying to portray him as a moron and did not care less if you thought that, and Johnny Depp unfairly lost the case because he was being paid to be there. But when it's the other way around, he's not happy. The world saw through him and he's furious. I was originally going to take a vacation to see my son in New York and then come back to Virginia on May 31st. Instead, I started the vacation a day early. Yeah, fortunately, I have a lot of support from my family. If I was his wife, I'd be like, listen, I've got to go. You've totally messed up. You simped way too hard over Amber Heard. It's embarrassing. You've embarrassed yourself, your family. You've made yourself look unprofessional. I have a lot of support from my family, even my patients. Well, not according to the Twitter. Have been emailing me, and the good news is that my residents and faculty members all support me. I don't buy that for a second. They texted me and were with Dr. Spiegel t-shirts made for me. I don't believe that. That was comforting. During my career, I've dealt with people who are not guilty of murder by reason of insanity. I've dealt with people who are psychotic and have threatened to kill me, and it's never fazed me one iota. But this did. You start realizing that it really just takes one person who is not seeing things right. Yeah, him. He wasn't seeing things right. He was either completely disingenuous or he's useless. One or the other. I could see what was happening, and I don't have 30 years experience as a doctor. I don't think I was paranoid to the point that I was shutting the blinds, but my eldest daughter is still in my house in Virginia. And it's ridiculous as it sounds. I have a pit bull. I love my dog. She's a great dog, but she's still a pit bull at heart. This was probably the first time I ever thought in my life, thank God I have a pit bull. What? Am I glad that my pit bull is there with my daughter? Yes, I am. I don't think my dog would harm me, but she could be intimidating. What? Instead of thinking, thank God I have a pit bull, do the right thing. Publicly apologise for calling the man an idiot in front of the world, and people will be less angry. I mean, who would want a psychiatrist that doesn't know how to personally do the right thing? How is he meant to guide you and steer you when he can't take accountability for his own actions? It's ridiculous. It's insanely unprofessional, and quite frankly, it makes him look like a moron. Okay, here we go. This looks juicy. I would have liked Mr. Depp to get ahead of this and to have said, listen, I understand you're upset, but there are ways to express how to be upset. The fact that he hasn't probably says potential volumes about him. What? Why would Johnny Depp go out and say to the public, after all he's currently emotionally dealing with, not to have a negative feeling towards these paid assassins that are trying to destroy him? Johnny Depp owes Dr. Spiegel nothing. Dr. Spiegel chose to put himself in that situation for money, a paid assassin. And Dr. Spiegel wants his victim, and let's be honest, Johnny Depp is his victim because he chose to take money to try and assassinate his career, to try to help Amber Heard continue to ruin his life and ruin his career. And he thinks Johnny Depp should say, be nice to Dr. Spiegel. This is what I mean about the lack of accountability. Nobody in their right mind should want this man as a psychiatrist. He put himself in this situation. It's his job to fix the problems he's created, and the only way he can do that is by making a public apology for his terrible performance, for calling him an idiot, for being unprofessional, for breaking the Goldwater rule, which is insanely unethical. Oh my God. He went out there with an axe to grind as a very, very bitter human being. In fact, I think I'm going to start calling him Dr. Spiegel. That probably suits him better. Dr. Spiegel. Okay, whew. Bit of a rant there, right. Speaks volumes about him, my God. Absolutely no self-awareness within this man, right. Miss Heard hasn't come out and said anything either, but my opinion is that she's the most vulnerable person in this situation. Yeah, because you're a liar or a simp, one or the other. If I had groupies, and I saw them attacking and harassing someone they don't know, I would have said what I said during the trial, that there are ways to express dissatisfaction, and there are ways to, and there are ways not to. I don't think when Mr. Depp first noticed this behaviour from his fans, he should have redirected their emotions. Okay, while I still feel this intervention would be welcomed, his fans may be disarmed by the verdict in his favour. But since the verdict, I have received a piece of derogatory mail to my professional address and one rude phone call that was fielded by my staff. One rude phone call and one horrible letter. When you try to convince the whole world that a man was an idiot and a domestic abuser when he wasn't, I think you got off pretty lightly even, to be honest. This man has absolutely no self-awareness, it's ridiculous. I've been almost totally offline since May 23rd, and I told my wife and kids before the trial to get off their personal websites and social media platforms for at least a week before and 2 weeks after the trial. Yeah, because you put them in that situation where they shouldn't be online to see you be humiliated by your own humiliating behaviour. But it probably still is a little bit hurtful for them to see the attacks on me. Well, you shouldn't have done it then. And for the patients, I've had relationships with for years. Well, yeah, because now they know their doctor is a moron, and they're probably like, well, that's why I'm not getting better. There is potential for professional fallback, yes, because you were unethical and broke the Goldwater rule, and you should be stricken off as a doctor. But I think it's going to be that 8% of my patients will stop seeing me. I think it will. But do I think some will, who I don't know well enough? Well, yeah, because people aren't that dumb. They saw through you. They might. Some of my patients that have suffered from intimate partner violence have reached out to me and have expressed that Miss Heard's testimony was cathartic, but I've never asked my patients what they think about the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp case. So there may be people who, if they think it's that important and they don't know me that well, may drop out. The fact that he hasn't once mentioned the fact that Amber Heard is the one that has 2 personality disorders that do make people violent, that do make people more likely to abuse their spouses, speaks volumes. I mean, he could have mentioned that and tried to justify it and basically explain why Johnny could still be the abuser, but he didn't because he knows that the evidence is stacked against Amber Heard if he tries to do that. So he completely ignores that and basically slanders Johnny Depp instead with absolute nonsense about how he's dumb based on his performance as Captain Jack Sparrow. It's ridiculous. Okay. Right, I need to calm down. I'm way too invested in this. Okay, I'm also applying for the position of permanent chair of the department of my med school. You've screwed it. You screwed the pooch on that one, mate. It's not like I think the comments from the general population would affect anything. It will, because you've made yourself look silly. I'm not going to lose my job. You should. But will the whole circus around the trial make me look more or less like a serious academic? Far less. You broke the Goldwater rule and you were extremely unethical. My thought has always been that before we choose a hero or a star, it's important to remember that we don't know them. We know their persona. So why did you judge him based on his persona and break the Goldwater rule? That's why it's always better to pick a hero that you know, like a family member or a teacher. That's fair. Then you know them a little more than you know this person you've never spoken to in your life. But yet you think you can diagnose Johnny Depp by being unethical, breaking the Goldwater rule, having never spoken to him in your life. You're completely contradicting what you said on stand and making yourself look even more moronic. Oh my god, this man is insane. He kind of looks like that blue bird character from Sesame Street, you know, the one with the big eyebrows. I would like to say to people who have attacked me that just like they don't know Mr. Depp, they don't know me. Yeah, but you attacked Johnny Depp without knowing him. It's the exact same thing. This is my career. This is what I do. I'm an emotions guy. I'm an emotions guy who should not be in the emotions business. So I have no problem with people expressing emotion. But I have people expressing emotion that is hurtful and harmful. But it's okay when he does it. Whether it be words or the ton of memes I've seen that are supposed to look like me when I'm testifying. I would ask people to remember there are appropriate ways that you can say you're dissatisfied with my testimony or I may have been short-sighted. I'm an expert at this. No, you're not. You've proven yourself to be anything but an expert. Oh my god. It's ridiculous. If anything, all he has proven is to the world that people that aren't as clever as they think they are can work their way up really high in different jobs. And the reason is people who aren't that bright generally are more confident and will go for higher up jobs, whereas people that are intelligent actually doubt themselves more. So he's an inspiration to people everywhere that they can do anything. There we go. That's the best thing he's done here, really. Okay. It's not like I saw one clip of Mr. Depp and then said, oh, let me judge this. Well, he said he judged them on Jack Sparrow and then called him an idiot. I wish Amber had emotional healing in a scenario where she was perceived by the general population as a villainess. The trial was, in many ways, an excellent experience for me. If it had just been the work I did that led up to it, the trial and the cross-examination, if I had ended it in a bubble, I would have said I'd 100% be an expert witness in a high-profile case again. Now I'm 60-40 leaning towards no. Well, of course not, because you're not very good at it. See, what this has taught the world is that basically these simps that will white knight for a woman and ignore all the horrible things that the woman is doing simply because she's attractive, right? People can see through it. And he's just learned that the hard way, and now he's sulking. Never in my life have I been the target of so much hate, ever. I will possess the emotion, but it will always be there. The knowledge that I was on the receiving end of such venom. He was on the receiving end of such venom for going out on the stand and spitting venom. He looked like he had an axe to grind, and that's what bothered everybody. His venom annoyed everybody, and he got back what he gave out. He received basically a mirror image back of himself, and he didn't like it. Now, any professional psychiatrist should... Not once did he say anything wrong that he did at all. He just simply said, this has happened. Johnny Depp should have stepped up and fixed this for me, even though I was his assassin there to destroy him. Not once did he say, I shouldn't have called him an idiot, I shouldn't have broken the Goldwater rule. He could have justified, basically, he could have tried to justify why he was being as awful as he was. He could have maybe said that he should have went in with a better attitude. But no. So I guess the question that I'm going to leave you guys with is, so that there's one of two things happening here. Is Dr. Spiegel completely disingenuous, there for the money, knew Amber Heard was entirely in the wrong, ignored the fact that she had some pretty serious mental health problems, and did this job for either money or simping? Is it that? Is he disingenuous? Is he unprofessional? Or is he simply not very bright and not anywhere near as good his job as he thinks he is? It's one or the other. Let me know in the comments below. And I think he's just not very bright, to be honest. Yeah, probably. It's sad. Anyway, there we go. I found that highly entertaining. Yeah, I'll be back later, I guess. I'll see you in a bit.